You can select the datasets being used as input to then generate the DEFINE.XML, DEFINE.PDF through this input selection list here. Now, in order to select where the dataset comes from, you can click on this button, which will go to the library or location where the input datasets are located. In this case, the library called test data. If you drill down to the library manager, it shows you the actual path to where that's located. Now, in this case, this path location has all these datasets. You can select the specific datasets that you want, and these will be considered the input datasets that will be used to generate your data definition documentation. If you were to select on the CDIS button here, it selects all the datasets that are according to the CDIS standard naming conventions. Or you can select all of the datasets in the directory by this toggle button here. Now, in addition to SAS datasets, you can also select transport datasets if it exists in your directory. Now, the directory that you have specified in the library manager can be a path on a server, or it can be a URL location as well. In this case, it's a web location. Now, in this web location, there exists both datasets and transport files. Now, if you were wanting to add a new dataset, you would then type in the name of the dataset in that URL location and click Add. This will then search for that dataset in that location. If it doesn't exist, it will not add it. But I will plan to add that dataset in that location now and show you that when that dataset is available, you can then click on Add and it will be inserted. Now, if you were to select on transport file, for example, and if there's a dataset transport file with that name, it will go ahead and add it. Of course, if there's a file that's not located in that directory, it will tell you that that doesn't exist. So this is how you can update or select even transport datasets or SAS datasets depending on what's available at that location. So the URL is a little different in that you have to know what the files are in order to then select it and add it to your input dataset. Whereas if your library is a normal SAS library with normal SAS datasets, it'll list it all. You don't have to then know what the names are. So you can add it that way. So this will give you the option of adding either SAS dataset or transport files from a normal library or from a URL, a web location. Those are the options that you can use. Once you select these, you can also preview them by clicking on this preview button if you want to see what they look like prior to documenting them. So in this case, you can look at the dataset and then generate your documentation by going through the process of editing the attributes. So that's how you would selectively select the input datasets for your documentation.